Ladies and gentlemen, I don't want to be hyperbolic here. I don't want to speak out of turn. I don't want to be fucking insane. But this is by far my favourite story I've ever covered. Neighbours. You either love them or you hate them. Or you're just slightly in between and you peer through their window in the middle of the night just to check their breathing. And perhaps sniff their shoes when they leave them at the front. But that's it. But just the other night, whilst I was sitting down to watch the absolute journalistic standard of integrity that is A Current Affair, I found the worst neighbour of all time. I'm talking stalking. I'm talking harassment. I'm talking some fucked up shit. I'm talking death threats. I'm talking fucking angry about trees. I'm talking everything.
This case is quite unlike anything we've seen before. A Telstra worker apparently hacking into his next-door neighbour's phone and following up with a campaign of harassment that lasted for years.
Okay, this may seem a little bit nitpicky, but can I just say there, Tracy Grimshaw, Australia's jewel, she just said, instead of harassment. It's fucking harassment!
It started with a dispute over a tree and escalated to men knocking on this family's door at all hours looking for sex.
I know what you're thinking. You think this is going to be the run-of-the-mill, neighbour goes to the other neighbour and demands sex from the front door. No! Fucking wrong! It's not that at all. It's much better.
My home is where my family should be safe.
I've never been more terrified in my life.
What sort of a sicko does that to their neighbour?
Okay, I make fun of A Current Affair a lot, and if you're not from this country and you don't know much about A Current Affair, imagine the news crossed with Jerry Springer. It's fucking fantastic.
We just had some complaints from some of your customers, Byron.
Will you be paying her back?
Yeah.
They've paid you $5,000, $3,000, $1,600 in one go. Why aren't you paying them back?
You're a bloody liar. Well, you're a black kettle.
I wondered if we could have a chat about it.
I genuinely watch this show every night because it is one of the best unintentional comedies that have ever been made.
And these perverts are knocking on the screen door. It was really scary.
What have you got to say for yourself, dipshit?
Dipshit? Did you just call him dipshit? Surely this reporter did not just call that man
Dipshit?
Okay, am I fucking 6 years old for laughing at that? Absolutely I am.
The offender's name is Dipjit Bose.
Fuck right off, reporter Dan Nolan. You very well know that you just seconds earlier called him dipshit. Don't try and cover your tracks, you dirty little bastard. Now, the story starts off a little dull. This is a 13-minute clip from A Current Affair, so I won't show you the entire thing. But the family who were the victims in this story, who for some reason appear in blackface, which is highly irregular. The story goes that the lady in question was getting random texts from a strange number on her phone. She then went to Telstra, the phone provider, tried to figure it out, went to the Apple store, tried to figure it out. They couldn't work out what was going on. They were absolutely coming up with nothing. Long story short, apparently it was Dipjit. Apparently he got access to her phone somehow. No one can understand or work out how, but he was able to message her and contact her and possibly harass her. And that's what happened here. But you may think to yourself, how would Dipshit do that? How would he get her number? How would he do all these things? Well, he also works for Telstra. The plot thickens. Anyway, 2 years go past, nothing happens beyond that point. Until one day, someone goes full Ted Bundy on this poor family's fucking garden and cuts up all the trees and kills them all.
All of the plants in our side garden had been hacked and mutilated and poisoned on our fence line with our neighbour.
But who could it be? I know this is starting to sound like a true crime story. You know those crime stories that chicks watch whilst they flick the bean trying to cure their seasonal depression. I think this is slightly better than that.
This city view of Brisbane is what was at stake for Dipjit Bose and his newly constructed home. The olive trees were trimmed back then, but he wanted the palm trees cut too and initiated action in the Queensland Civil and Administrative Tribunal to force his neighbours to do it.
Okay, A Current Affair does this a lot. They're about to read out this text, and usually they just have a dude read it out, and it's usually just a white guy, a very common Australian accent. But what they do here is fucking hilarious.
You may be aware that our respective rights in this situation are governed by the Neighbourhood Disputes Act. Under this Act, obstruction of my view by your tree will constitute interference with the use and enjoyment of my land.
That is 100% someone putting on a fake Indian accent. Without a shadow of a doubt, they're just sitting in the sound booth going, yeah, mate, can you ham it up a little bit more? Go a bit more Apu from The Simpsons. Obviously, they don't want too much of an Indian accent in there because their core audience is Australian pensioners aged over the age of 70 and their heads would explode. Okay, so phone calls, text messages, letters, poisoning trees, all that aside, this is where this video takes it to the next level.
As soon as the case started slipping from his grasp, Dipjit Bose took his offending to an appalling new low, placing an ad on Gumtree for sexual services at his neighbour's house on the same day this unsuspecting mum had advertised for a cleaner.
It's been foreplay up until this point. This is it. This is the moment. Are you ready?
And a man said that his name was Kevin and he was calling about the ad. So I asked Kevin what his experience was, and Kevin proceeded to provide me with a litany of his sexual prowess.
Yes!
At which point I said, we need to stop it there, Kevin. I think you've got the wrong number.
That's such a Kevin thing to do. But also, what a confusing moment for that lady. She just gets a phone call. Yes, hello, Kevin. I would just like to know a few questions. First of all, what experience do you have in the job? Yes, well, I certainly do know how to find all those nooks and crannies. Yes, that's fine. We do need a thorough clean out here. You and me both. What about spills? Can you handle spills? Oh, don't worry. If there's any spills, I'll slurp them right up. We have a mop, so you won't actually have to worry about that. Don't worry. You'll need a mop when you're done with me. Right, well, we'll see you this afternoon. Actually, before you come over, can you pick up a new sponge? Because our sponge is stiff and hard. Oh, okay. Well, my cock is stiff and hard.
And he said, no, I got your ad on Gumtree. And I said, what did it say? And he told me it was titled Sensual Massage with a Twist. So I hung up on Kevin quite quickly.
Poor Kevin. All he ever wanted in life was a sensual massage with a twist. But all that's really happening here is this poor family is getting attacked by this dude who is putting ads in the new paper, which is Craigslist, which is Gumtree, which is all those type of things, saying that, hey, come round for hand jobs, sensual massages, the whole thing, and they're calling up the family and harassing them, sort of. I'll tell you what, Dipjit, it's a pretty classic move. It's quite funny up until this point. It does get bad, but it's pretty funny right now.
Sensual massage with a twist. Mid-aged male and female experienced in all types of sensual massage would like your company to practice massage and much more. We are very clean and discreet and love to explore the male body to give the best experience.
Sorry, quick sidebar. That's actually the type of emails you get from me when you sign up for the Good Motherfucker Club. And make sure you do sign up for the Good Motherfucker Club. There is the link. Go and do it right now because there is a merch drop imminent.
I was really scared because I didn't know what would happen. Then I rang my husband. I was very, very upset. I had 2 children at home. And he said, don't panic. And then the first knock came to the door and there was actually a man there.
That would be quite frightening, just a bunch of dudes standing at the front of your house trying to get a root. I mean, it would look like a nightclub when it lets out at 3 a.m. when it closes. Just dudes standing around with too much testosterone, pre-cum, and immense disappointment. Coincidentally, that's the name of my next tour.
How many calls and how many door knocks did you get from that first ad?
So there would have been 10 people that first day, which is a lot.
That's quite a lot of people. 10 dudes with semi-erect penises just standing there. I guess now they know what it's like to be a slightly hot aged care nurse.
Of my children. So I would, as soon as the car pulled up, I was out there and I had my phone ready to take photos of these guys.
This is one of the photos she took of the men who were arriving at her door.
Hang on, stop! That is not fair! That dude's just trying to get some sensual massages and you fucking posting his photo on the TV. Let me fix that.
This is one of the photos she took of the men who were arriving at her door.
Much better. But for this poor family, it got worse and worse and more ads just kept popping up.
Every time one ad came down, another would pop up.
Looking for casual hot fun with another man.
It was rattling psychologically because we didn't know when they were coming.
coming.
Each time a new ad was placed, their mobile phones would light up with text messages. These are some of the worst, horrendous naked images from unknown men.
Hey, see, fucking chill out, alright? The Buttsman had some stress, and the only way that I know how to get rid of it is an evening with Dipchit.
Hello, Dipchit. Dan Nolan from A Current Affair.
Dan, you're not even trying.
What sort of a sicko does that to their neighbour? How perverted is your mind to concoct some of this stuff that you said?
I mean, this whole thing sucks for the family. It would have sucked to live through. It would have been horrible. But for everybody else, it is fucking hilarious.
And then finally, a death threat.
Finally? What do you mean, finally? Finally they got a death threat.
Arriving by email stating all of your end is not far away, with the initials of their children's names on it too.
Fuck! Okay, Dipchit, bit far. Fuck, like the horny dudes out the front, Kevin the cleaner trying to get a root, just jizz floating around in the fucking, in the storm water drain out the front of their house. That's alright, but the death threat? Fuck me.
Almost 3 years after he was charged, Dipjit Bose finally faced the district court for sentencing last week, pleading guilty to 2 charges of stalking with violence while the hacking charge was dropped. Judge Julie Dick.
Oh, of course her last name's Dick. Who wrote this story? Saturday Night Live?
Noted his very disturbing and very determined defending, sentencing him to 18 months in jail, suspended after 4 months.
Good! Fuck him to the moon! I don't want to come across in a rude manner and make it seem to the family this actually happened to that I'm a piece of shit. It is funny for people from the outside looking in. I'm sure it was a horrible experience for you. And I'm certainly glad it's over. This bloke's locked up as he fucking deserves to be. And I guess possibly a way to look at this is Dipchit is now in jail, and perhaps he is also advertising outside of his cell for sensual massages. Ladies and gentlemen, be a good motherfucker. Peace in the Middle East, me dick stinks. Keep moist. I'll see you very soon. Bye.